Chicken Bacon. It's me, Cassie Frass, and I decided to do a fan art of the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy in watercolor, so here's that video for you guys. This is sketched out on B watercolor paper. I really enjoy the texture of this. I'm using my Faber-Cast style Pitt pen, synthetic hair watercolor brushes, and my Koi watercolor set. To begin, I just started lining Grim, and I was really shaky. I don't know if I was feeling low in iron or if I was hungry, but the process of lining it was a little difficult for me this day. It happens. We can't be at 100% all the time. The Pitt pens are one of my favorite pens to line in when I do watercolor because they don't have a long drying time. One thing that annoys me with pens is when the drying time takes forever and you go to do your watercolors and it's not dry yet, so it seeps into the painting. That's a big pet peeve. I can't recall the last time I used these with my alcohol markers. That's mostly because I haven't used alcohol markers in a couple of years. I'm gonna try and get some refills for my Copics because they're mostly dry. I need new nibs for them, but that can get kind of expensive, and I don't feel like investing that type of money into a medium that I hardly use anymore. I like being able to switch up what mediums I work with. Currently, I am super into watercolor and graphite pencil. If you want to see more of my work, you can follow me over on Instagram at cassie.frass. And if you're from YouTube, why don't you comment a couple of skulls on my most recent post, and I'll give you a shout out in my story. Instagram is definitely the place where I'm active the most, but I also have a Facebook page as well as a TikTok. If you'd like to follow me on those socials, feel free. Definitely tell me if you found me because of YouTube. I just think that's really interesting how you could find different artists on different platforms and get to see them grow everywhere. I really like that. And it makes me feel like a community knowing that you guys follow me from other sites. I don't like brushing away eraser shavings with my hands because I use a lot of lotion, oily. I don't want to stain my paper. So I just use a brush to brush it away. I used to have a makeup brush, a blush brush, it's hard to say, and that worked really well, but I lost it when I moved, so we make do with what we have. This part of the painting was really fun. I started in with the green color, and I wanted sort of a lime green, so it gets that eerie, scary sort of vibe that the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy have. And I had a fun time getting all those cool little, I don't know how you would call this. It's not a swirl, but I like this sort of type of background. It's real easy. I am trying to work on my background, so this is what I'm doing. I'm gonna do a couple of Pokemon drawings because I'm sorry, kitty. I'm sorry about that. My cat was asking politely to go outside and go for a walk, and I brushed her off, and then she, not so politely, demanded to go outside and go for a walk, so we just came back from a nice little walk. She climbed up a tree and everything. We had a really nice time. Back to what I was saying. I'm planning on doing a couple of Pokemon paintings, and I want them to be inspired by the trading card game. And I really like how simple and cartoonish the backgrounds of certain Pokemon cards are. So I'm gonna try and go for that vibe. And I'm gonna try to work on my backgrounds while I do that. So fingers crossed that it works out and I learn a little bit more about how to properly create a background. I like how this background turned out though. I really love the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. When I was growing up, I remember being excited to watch new episodes when I got off of school. I remember my big cousin, she would be like, "Oh, you guys are watching that annoying little show again?" She was like 5 years older than us though, so it wasn't in her demographic. What was your favorite cartoon growing up? I definitely was an Invader Zim kid. That is for sure. I remember going over to my uncle's house, and he didn't have any kids. He only had one daughter, and my cousin was already grown at that time, and he didn't know what to put on. He was like, "Do you watch this?" And it was Invader Zim, and I love Invader Zim, so I was like, yes. And this is gonna age me. My aunt gave us those, what are they called? Hit clips? You know, where it played like 30 seconds of music on a little like microchip. Oh, I was so happy when I got that. I want to say it was NSYNC and Hero, and I only had those two, and I would listen to those, and I thought it was so cool. Though if I remember correctly, Invader Zim came out like 5 years before Billy and Mandy was released. Regardless of that, those two shows really shaped me into who I am today and what kind of stuff I'm into. Thank you for letting me be an old person and reminisce about the old cartoons I used to watch. For the smoke, I decided to go for like a red color, but I didn't know I actually picked up the blood orange color. It's not that big of a difference. It was just a little bit too orange for what I was going for, but I feel like it still fits into this color scheme because of that purple. I'm really happy with the color choices that I made with these. I usually try to plan out the color scheme ahead of time and like have a little scrap piece of paper to make sure I'm getting the right colors and everything, but for whatever reason I was just winging this and I thought I had the right color. I think it was a happy little accident though. I think the blood orange really sticks out. Here's my kitty cat just being absolutely naughty. She would not let me work on this painting at all. She really likes going for walks, and I'm the only person that walks her, so I think that's why, you know, if you're not getting what you want, be annoying until it happens. It's so funny, like, I walk my cat on leash, and when the neighbors see this, they always, like, congratulate me on how an amazing cat trainer I am. And it's funny because, yes, I am, but to train a cat, you reinforce behaviors you want him to do. And it was easy to walk her on a leash because she wanted to go outside. Meanwhile, I can't get her to stop jumping on top of the table when I'm painting, and it's frustrating, but it's also kind of funny because you know how your cat likes to wake you up in the middle of the night? Well, she used to like get up high and then jump on top to like knock the air out of you so you wake up. But ever since I taught her to high five, she will like softly pat my face and like pet me because she's learned that, oh, if I use my paw, then I get what I want. And she pets me so I could pet her. That's why she's waking me up in the middle of the night. It's just because she's bored and lonely. I love her so much. She drives me insane, but I wouldn't have it any other way. This video is all over the place. I've barely talked about the artwork. But onto the shading I did on Grimm. I was looking at stills and screenshots of the show, and I noticed I don't really shade them, so I thought I'll just do some spit shading. I added just some black, and I went over with just plain water to help shade it out and make it more visually interesting. I know that the cartoon had flat colors because it's a cartoon, it's a TV show, they didn't have the time to add all those details and everything. So I was just trying to figure out what would work best for my style and this painting, and I think I'm happy with how it turned out. It looks very neat and clean. I'm happy I work in different styles and don't limit myself to one art style, because working in the American traditional flash style really helped me do this. I had a lot of confidence in my ability to make this method work. I know some people try to fit themselves in a box and be like, oh, I'm only a portrait artist, and that's all they'll do, and it can make your art a little monotonous and boring to do. So if you want to just do Pokemon sometimes, or if you want to do some surrealistic or abstract art, go for it. Don't limit yourself and put limitations on yourself. Everything's made up. You can do whatever you want. As I'm finishing up these eyeballs, that is all I have to do for this piece. So I thank you so much for sticking around this long. If you have watched this video so far, why don't you leave a couple of skull emojis down in the comments section. If you want to see more from me, don't forget to subscribe. I also have an Instagram and other social media that you guys could follow me at. So I'll leave you guys with these shots of the finished piece, and I will see you later, Gators. Bye-bye.